Good morning, traders. This is the my video, morning video before non-farm payroll at 8:30. So my biases here could be changed dramatically after non-farm payrolls come in here. I do think it's a sell the news event, so be very mindful of that. We've achieved the target area that the markets were actually trying to achieve. We got back into the Liberation Day trading range. So I've got it marked out here on my charts: Liberation Day high, Liberation Day low, and now we have the non-farm payrolls, which is probably one of the most important data points for the week. After we've already had really bad GDP numbers, so be mindful of that in today's session. Seeing already a double top in this morning, and if you zoom in on the smaller time frames, I'm actually seeing uh, uh, very weak on the volume profile this morning. Very weak volume profile building out this morning. So be very important. And this is in the same range where we had yesterday morning, a weak volume profile. Now we are saving this support. So bottom line is, if we, in my opinion, if we were to start coming in this morning, breaking below basically 559.40 here on SPY, I would really start to look towards the downside in the markets. 559.40 if we start breaking below that. So be very mindful of that. Yeah, early on this morning. So yesterday came in, we defended that Liberation Day low here on SPY, and they could very well do it again today. Don't get me wrong with that, but it's something to be mindful. It looks like we've came into a major topping area, and we saw some big trades happen in a lot of the three-time ETFs yesterday. Right near the day highs, suggesting some significant profit taking hitting the tape yesterday. So be very mindful of that. If you go over to your ES futures, I got it drawn out. I want to point out here, we've double topped right into the expected market maker move high for the week. So be very mindful of that. So rejected twice now, right there at the expected. So we've hit the very outside range of our expected move for the week. And there are quite a few stocks that are in positive gamma. And what that means, market makers have written calls and sold them to you, the public. So, so Main Street is, because we've moved to the extreme market maker move high. Main Street is still, gaining more than what Wall Street is. So by bringing this back down, that in theory, Wall Street will get paid. So every time I'm coming into the end of the week or something like that, who's got the edge? So basically, like I said, we had the big move up yesterday. Main Street got paid. Now today, you want to see Wall Street to get paid by bringing prices back down. That would, in a week, in a normalized market structure, that's what you would look for. And we know we're into some major resistance. So I don't know if they can do it or not, but I am on the lookout for that scenario that Main Street wants to get paid and blow up a lot of these positive call side gammas, uh, you know, to finish out the week. And then, it's not necessarily bearish. It just means that Wall Street wants to steal as much money as they can from the average person. Okay. Okay, here we go. So basically, we are above Liberation Day high here on the Qs. And I want to make it really important, this level right here, just how important this level is. Okay, guys, this looks like, to me, a look above that will fail. We've finally got pretty much all the major megatechs are out, except for NVIDIA. So this could be a buy the rumor, sell the news. They got the NASDAQ to look above Liberation Day, okay? And they could be setting up to break back down into that day and maybe potentially even further. You never know. But, that is my primary thesis, because we're trading right around this Liberation Day. And, we looked above here, and this could be very well be a failing pattern. So be very mindful. Similar situation. You look on the 15-minute here, right, guys? You see how weak the volume profile is here in this morning's session. This is actually showing a much weaker volume profile than what we had coming into yesterday. So be very mindful of that. Yesterday, we really had a pretty strong, and I didn't even draw it out yesterday morning like I did on the SSPs, because we had a fairly robust structure in the pre-market session. There's a lot of volume happening up at near the highs. Okay, and obviously, so and we stayed up there for the most part all day long due to that. Now today we have a weakening structure, so we have to be mindful of that going into the session. Okay, guys. So it doesn't look nearly as robust for the Nasdaq as what we had coming into yesterday's session, despite the fact we're in the same basic trading zone. Okay, guys. Now, similar situation. You go over here in Qs. We hit the death cross yesterday. So if you draw out on the daily time frame the exponential death cross, right where the cross is, draw a trend line right across. That's that line right there. We came right into the death cross back test and rejected right off that. That was the dead highs of the day, and that's where I was shorting there. I wish I had shorted a lot more, but I did make a scalp a little bit of money off this death cross rejection. Okay, guys, we are trading below the expected move for the week as well. So we're in our probabilities models, but we are, like I said, there are quite a few positive gamma setups out there. So we have to be mindful of that. The markets may need to come down lower, blow up all of this extra call premium. And we are weighted more to the call side now than what we have been for some time now. They're finally, giving up on a lot of the put uh, 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 open interest. Okay. So there's a lot more call premium to actually blow up versus the put side. At the current time. So be very mindful of that as well. Okay. So that's just a few things I was looking at here. The Russell's really not showing us much. IWM here. We do have it. Look at how ugly this volume profile is on the IWM. It's a really ugly volume, pre-market volume. This to me does not look supported. So we're looking above major resistance. It's been acting as resistance all week. So I'm really curious to see how price action. It just looks like a look above that's going to puke. I mean, based off the volume profile, I don't know. Time will tell. So I'd be really hesitant on trying to push this breakout this morning. So let's see how it plays out here on the IWN this morning. Like I said, it's early. It's before the 8:30 non-farm payrolls, but this here really looks like a pattern that could just blow up in any second. So what I'm seeing here now on the pre-market things happening here, Tesla. You see TSLL very active this morning. So let's go over here to Tesla. That's the leveraged Tesla chart. So bottom line is here, guys, we're trying to. It's a bullish pattern. Okay, it's trying to bull flag to higher highs. So everything about this pattern is still looking bullish. We do have a fair value gap. Basically, we got the announcement they're going to lower the regulations on self-driving cars and stuff, and we have not completely filled that fair value gap. So we have to be mindful of that until we start breaking this little trend line I got on here, which could very well happen today. Okay, so we could very well be doing that. So just be very mindful of that. Basically, a brick wall. We ran into a brick wall all week here on Tesla. Wedging out really tight here. Okay, but it's looking constructive. It's quite constructive on the pattern here, and the way we're holding that trend line as well. So if you're a bull, right here, right now, ideally what you're looking for, because we know this is heavy resistance, you're looking for a breakout a breakout above the 290. You're looking for a breakout above 290 with a back test, uh, and then to enter to the long side, because right here this looks like a trappy area, a lot of potential premium destruction here on Nvidia or Tesla. What I'm seeing right here, potential for major premium upside uh, destruction. So be very mindful of that on Tesla. Soxel. What's going on with Soxel? Not really seeing anything there. Nvidia. Okay. Nvidia, guys. So we know this 115 area is a major overhead resistance, and we're currently trading below that again. We are so this 115 area just a major headwind. So basically every time you get in the 115, you look for a short. The risk reward to the upside is very limited, and because you're trading below that. So the odds, if you're trying to trade Nvidia, the odds are you really want to trade to the downside or not trade at all. Similar with Tesla, you're kind of trapped in that little area. So you don't really have any type of edge to trade either one of those. My big trade for yesterday, which I've got pissed off. Uh, oh, it just pisses me off. Palantir. I was short Palantir early on yesterday morning. Let me zoom in here real quick and show you how I traded this. So bottom line is we finished the earnings fair value gap. So we basically retraced the entire earnings sell-off and the fair value gap yesterday. So I was really on top of this one right out of the gate here. So I was getting in, yeah, I was getting in right through here. And you see all these wicks that just kept chopping me out. That wick right there, we came down, I made good money, I put a break-even stop, and they came up one last time and took me out of the trade before the big move started. So it just pissed me off. I got out for break-even, and it turned out to be one heck of a trade if I would have stuck it out. So I was really, really upset because that would have been a $3,000 win for me if I had stuck it out. And instead, I got out for break even. So I was really, really upset. And wouldn't you know it, in the overnight session, it just kept on selling off. So we may have hit a major high here for Palantir. So be very mindful of that. Could be very well a major high for Palantir. Okay. So we don't want to. Honestly, I wouldn't even look at the long side here. So unless we actually start breaking above, the 121.50, you have to start seeing acceptance above the 121.50. I just don't know if you're going to get it with all the government slashing. That Trump's coming out. We're slashing all kinds of stuff this morning as well. That's the whole problem with Palantir. The government spending has been just neutered, and that's why they got hit in the first place. So be very mindful of that. As far as this morning goes, Apple's gapping down here. Not the end of the world here, but basically almost take a $900 billion increase on the quarter in expenses, but related to uh, changing things around for the tariffs. In other words, moving operations out of China into different locations and all kinds of stuff like that. So be very mindful of that going forward here. We're holding above that must hold area, the 206 area. So currently we're trading above that. We'll see how it plays out in today's session here on Apple. The numbers weren't horrible, but like I said, we could be in a very important topping area this morning. Ideally, I would have liked to seen us down below this area right here if I was a bear, and we're currently not doing that. So be very mindful of that. There was a rumor that China might be open to start negotiations. Basically try to start de-escalating. If anybody has not seen, um, they have they all where all the container ships are. They have a on um, the internet. They'll show where all the container ships are parked. We had it parked out. We had it a few years ago. They were all parked out on the West Coast, where we couldn't process all the goods coming from China. And don't you remember one of the anchors snagged a natural gas pipeline. They had a big mess out there, out there that tried to fix the pipeline, and oh, it was a mess. Well, now China's got the similar situation. All the Chinese ships are just sitting over there, just backed up. And I'm telling you, there are a lot. I mean, there's like over 500 ships off the coast of China just parked, anchors laid, and because they're not bringing anything to the U.S. because and it's getting pretty bad. And we're about 2 weeks out before we start seeing the uh, ports. Uh, 2 weeks or less, we're going to start seeing the ports slow down. So we're getting to the point, where people the panic is. We haven't even started negotiations with China, and we're just about there where people are going to start panicking about the goods not coming into the U.S. And just like I said, by the end of the month, the full-on panic is probably going to be hitting, especially if we haven't even gotten anywhere with China on negotiations. So be mindful of that. Okay. So the Chinese names are bouncing up on possibility of some sort of trade deal here. Taiwan Semi, I don't know what's going on there. So it's catching maybe the talks of a possible some sort of trade deal and stuff. Maybe that's helping rally Taiwan Semi this morning. I'm not for sure. So I don't know if there's some sort of news there or not. I did notice Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin was doing very well this morning. No, no, no. It's not really doing anything. SMCI got clogged on earnings. Just continues to chug around here. Anything else I got going on here? Microsoft had one hell of a day. Right up in here, we're into this fair value gap area, which just seems to be holding. So if we would have been breaking down below that, I'd be getting more concerned. Looks like consolidation of the moves happening here for that into some major resistance yesterday, right here at these highs. That's a major resistance point. It rejected, similar to what happened to Google. So we have to keep that in mind. Google structure, I was looking at, and you guys know I made quite a bit of money on Google shortly this week. The structure looks like it's improving on Google, so I have to be very mindful. Some guys were one of the guys was asking me about doing a short on Google, and I said no, 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 it's looking better. We could very easily be running up to the 167, so I'd be really hesitant about shorting Google. The structure is looking like it's improving here in the short term. Okay, looking a little bit more constructive to the upside, in my opinion. Let's see here. Yeah, just hanging down here. No man's land. Heads up on that. So basically, because Apple's out, that Taiwan Semi might be uh, just a little bit of a relief rally in Taiwan Semi because the Apple numbers are out and they weren't that bad. And maybe we're just getting a squeeze happening here in Taiwan Semi, getting a nice upside squeeze here because the numbers weren't absolutely deplorable. So let's be very mindful of that. I kind of like this thing up into that 182 area early on this morning. I do like that. So heads up on that. This looks more of a bullish pattern to me. Right into get a resistance. Yeah, we're breaking above this resistance right here as well. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good chance we're going to be at 182 at some point today. So be very mindful of that Taiwan Semi. Anything else I can say here? Well, I don't want to make the video go too long here, so that's just a few things I was looking at here. Ultimately, it's looking a little bit weak, like I said, so be very mindful of that. You get please retweet me if you get a chance. Post me, like me on X, and appreciate everybody watching my videos, and thanks a lot. Comments below on my YouTube channel if you get a chance. Thanks.